Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be my shopping our stash collab for the month of July. This is a collaborative project that I do with my friend Elisabeth once a month. We shop our stash for one shade every month. We pull out all of our eyeshadow to see how many we have of that particular shade. We swatch them and we kind of remind ourselves of what we already have and what we truly don't need. For the month of July, we are doing a color that we were going to do for the month of June. In the end, with everything going on with my health, we ended up skipping the month of June for shopping our stash. But the shade that we were planning to do for the month of June was Champagne Gold. That was our first request. And it came from my friend FTC MUA. She said, June is my birthday month and my favorite color is Champagne Gold. Can you do Champagne Gold? And I said to Elisabeth, is there any way we could do this for June? Elisabeth said yes. So we were all set to do Champagne Gold for the month of June. It did not happen in the end. I ended up in the hospital for 8 days. And so we decided that rather than to scrap Champagne Gold, to just push it back to July. So happy birthday, FTC MUA. I hope you had a wonderful birthday month. We are doing Champagne Gold for you. Now, when she requested that color, I was a little bit nervous because I don't think it's a matter of how many palettes do I have that has Champagne Gold in it. I think it's a matter of how many palettes I own that do not have Champagne Gold in it. It's a super popular shade, and for good reason. It makes a good brow bone highlight. It makes a great inner corner highlight. It's a beautiful eyelid shade. It's just very flattering on a lot of people. And so, yeah, I thought, oh man, this is gonna be a 5-hour long video. I finally decided to cut myself off. I went through as many palettes as I could, and once I had a huge stack, I just stopped because this video would literally be hours long. I didn't go through single eyeshadows. I didn't even touch on highlighters because that would have made this video twice as long. So we're just gonna swatch a bunch of Champagne Gold and go from there. On my eyelids today, I am using 3 of the Super Shock shadows that are in my Gold for the Goal project. That project is still going on. I just haven't had an update. I just don't feel like I could do a video when there's nothing to talk about, and I'm not using these shadows that frequently, but I am still working to hit pan on my Super Shock shadows. The shade that provides the most Champagne Gold on my eyelid is this one here. It's called Halo. I have no idea if this is still available or not, to be honest, but it is a beautiful gold shade that I have really been enjoying wearing. That's it right there. It kind of blends in with my skin, but it pops a little bit more on my eyelid. I put that all over my eyelid, and then I put a little bit of Melrose in my transition area, in my crease, in my outer third of my eyelid, and a little bit of Valley Girl on my inner corner. Easy, done. It's a lovely Champagne Gold look. Really quickly, in an ironic twist, there is a palette that has the shades Champagne and Gold, and yet I don't feel like there's a shade in this palette that actually is Champagne Gold. In the original Lorac Pro, this shade right here is called Champagne, and this shade right here is called Gold. But there is no Champagne Gold in this palette. I thought that was kind of funny, and I thought I'd show you. All right, everything else from here on out is just chock full of Champagne Gold. A palette that is loaded with Champagne Gold and screams summer is this one right here. This is the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. This is a 19 color shadow and highlight palette. Obviously, as long as your eyes are not too sensitive, you can use these however you want. But this is an entire palette that is just full of Champagne Gold. It is absolutely gorgeous. It just screams summer. I'm going to be swatching this one right here. This is Moonscape right there, and it is gorgeous. There's Halo from ColourPop. There's Moonscape. It's magical. Onto the Tarte Clay Play Volume 2 palette. I have a shadow in here called Smoke. I don't really get the reference, but they can name it whatever they want right there. There's Smoke right there. It's a little bit deeper. On to the Urban Decay Born to Run. There are two shadows in this palette that look a little bit champagne gold. These two right here. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna swatch Blaze, which is this one right here. There's Blaze. Moving on to the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. I'd like to swatch this shade right here called Magical. And I agree, it is magical. What a gorgeous color. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. Okay, I have the Styled by Harouche palette from Tarte. And in this palette, I'm gonna swatch the shade Bliss, which is this one right here. It actually looks very similar to the shade from the BH Cosmetics palette, and I like both those very much. Okay, let's talk about Too Faced. Jared is no fool. He knows that this color sells palettes, and so he puts it in a lot of them. Gingerbread Spice palette. The shade Spiked Eggnog, which is right here, is a beautiful champagne gold. Right there. The Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, the shade Nectar, which is right here, is one of my favorite shadows in the palette. I love this, and I love Candied Peach. I know a lot of people do not like this shadow. It's one of my favorites. This shade Nectar is special though. It's so buttery. There's Nectar. I know it looks like all the same, but that one's kind of special to me. I just think that's a beautiful shadow. And my hand is starting to smell really good. In the next Too Faced palette, this is the Clover palette. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the shadow Cuteness Overload, which is this one down here. I think you can tell Hazel was doing some swatches in this palette herself. She's been busy. She loves this palette. This is one of her favorites. She can't control herself when she sees this design on the outside of the palette. Oh, that's it right there. Holy cow, that's gorgeous. It's a little bit more neutral than the other ones, less gold, but super stunning. Okay, two more Too Faced palettes to talk about. In this Natural Love palette, there seems to be a lot of champagne gold. Well, there seems to be a couple of champagne gold. Fairy Tale, right here, and Honey Pot are both very good champagne golds. Excuse me, Honey Pot right there. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Fairy Tale. That seems like a little bit closer of a champagne gold than Honey Pot. Right there. It looked like it was gonna be a little bit chunkier, but when I swatched it out, it was fine. Okay, and finally for my last Too Faced palette, this is the White Peach palette from Too Faced. I have this shadow right here called Peaches and Dreams. It seems a little bit deeper compared to some of the other ones, maybe a little bit peachier. But yes, let's swatch it and see what it does. One of my favorite smelling palettes of all time. Definitely a lot more golden, a lot deeper. Still beautiful right there. If I get too close, you can't see it. It doesn't seem right to talk about the shade Champagne Gold without discussing the Lorac Gold palette. This is one of their unzipped formulas. I'm a big fan of the unzipped formula from Lorac. I love it. I'm not as familiar with this palette. I've never used it even once. I am keeping a tally. Out of all the palettes I'm swatching in today's video, I am keeping a tally of how many of them I've used on my eyes and how many of them I've never used. This goes in the unused category. I'm going to go ahead and swatch Unlimited, which is this one right here. It's a lot like the last one. There it is right there. What was the last one I just swatched from the White Peach palette? Those two are very similar. Is this not the most beautiful hand you've ever seen in your life? I don't want to wash this off ever. Okay, ABH. Let's move on to ABH. There's two ABH palettes that I pulled. Both of them have champagne golds in them. This is the Modern Renaissance palette, and of course, I'm thinking of the Shadow Primavera. Oh, that scared me. I'll just leave you down. Which is this one right here. Gorgeous champagne gold. Gorgeous. All right, we're gonna move on down to the arm. Should we do that? Yep. There's Primavera. It's very golden. It is gorgeous. It reminds me a lot of the last two shadows I just swatched. They're pretty much identical. And next I have the Master Palette by Mario, the shade Fifth Avenue. Right there. It is a beautiful champagne gold. Hollywood also looks like a pretty good champagne gold. You know what? Let's swatch Hollywood, this one right here. So buttery, like butter. Wow. Those are practically dupes for each other. Very similar. I never quite know what to call this palette right here. This is a Physicians Formula highlighting quad palette. It's in a category all on its own, but this could be used for the face or the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one right here in the top in the middle. It is so cute. Feels a little bit dry. I hope I didn't let it dry out on me. Okay, there we go. There it is right there. In the Carly Bible palette, this is the first one from BH Cosmetics. I'm going to go ahead and swatch this gold shadow right here. This is an old palette from Honest Beauty. I got this at Ulta when it was like half off, and I haven't used it enough like most of the eyeshadows I own, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this gold right here. That's a very pretty shadow right there. Bare Minerals, this is the, I don't know what kind of palette this is. I don't know what the name of it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this shadow right here called Gold Leaf. So pretty. That is stunning. Still not sick of gold after all these swatches. You'd think I would be. Okay, in my Sephora Pro New Nudes palette, there are a couple of options in this palette. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Daisy, this first one right here. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. That's like my perfect champagne gold color. Okay, I have two ColourPop palettes. I have the You Had Me at Hello palette, and this one is called Double Entendre. For Double Entendre, I'm gonna swatch this one down here. I think it's called Keep It PG. Very similar to the last one. And for the You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm going to go and swatch this one right here, which I think is called Moonstruck. I'm never sure about the names for these shadows. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that palette. In one of my most expensive palettes I've ever owned, I have the Pat McGrath Bronze Ambition palette. It looks like this. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one down here called Gold Rush. That's beautiful. We're getting down to it. There's only 4 more palettes to swatch. This is another BH Cosmetics palette. This is the Solar Flare palette. It looks like this. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Pulsar right there. It's more golden, but I have run out of arm space. I'm gonna go down here. There's a lot more gold in that one. It is beautiful. This is the Nubian 2 from Juvia's Place. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Zuri, this one right here. All right, we're back to my hand. Oh, no, let's do it right here. There's Zuri right there. Okay, and the final 2 palettes are both Morphe palettes. I have the 35F and the 35OS. For the 35F, I'm going to go ahead and swatch this one right here. Whoa, there it is. And for the 35OS, I'm going to go ahead and swatch this one right here. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. All right, guys, in conclusion, I have enough champagne gold to last several lifetimes. I do not need to buy a palette based around that color ever again. However, I do find this to be one of the most useful shades in an eyeshadow palette. I think almost every eyeshadow palette could benefit from this color, but I have enough. And the truth is, in a hypothetical situation, even if I used up every single champagne gold eyeshadow that I have swatched today, I could still start shopping my highlighter stash, which I did not do for this video. I'm sure I have a ton of highlighters that are champagne gold as well. So I'm set. I think most of us are set in this color department, but it was really fun to shop and swatch all of the palettes I have that have champagne gold in them. I'm good. I'm good. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.